Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be reviewing Deadrising on the PC. I'll first start off with the positives and negatives. My first positive is how much gore is in this game. I'm really impressed with the amount of gore in this game because this was released in 2006. So this was probably very hard to accomplish, and I'm very happy that they were able to put this in the game. The other positive I have are some of the weapons in this game. There aren't very many weapons within the game, but some of them are just so good that I have to mention them. So the first weapon is the mini chainsaw that the clown used as his weapons. Not only is this weapon very usable, but it's quick to fight with, and if you get the right mixture of books, you will be able to kill over 2,000 zombies with this one weapon alone. It's quite funny to be honest, because if the weapon gets destroyed, you can just go right back to where the clown was killed and just get another chainsaw. This basically means that you will have an unlimited amount of this weapon, and it's really helpful, especially against larger groups of zombies. The other weapon that I really liked was the broadsword that the cult leader used as a weapon. It's not as powerful as the chainsaw in my opinion, because it's a lot slower to use, but has an equal amount of damage. So if you're able to get these two weapons, I would highly suggest you get them. I'll even put on screen which books you need in order to have the full power of the chainsaw. I also really like the map itself. I like the map because it's a realistic place for a zombie outbreak to happen, to be honest, because there's a lot of people, and if a person is infected with a virus, that can spread like wildfire. So this is a very good location. Otherwise, you got many spots like a parking garage that is absolutely huge, and just the abundance of stores where you can look around for clothing or weapons, as well as books to help upgrade your weapons and your health. I especially like the parking garage because it's a massive area, and you can use vehicles to run over hundreds, if not thousands of zombies. Speaking of the parking garage and driving vehicles, there are prisoners that can show up in a military jeep on the outside of the mall. And once you kill these prisoners, you can actually use the military jeep. I did an experiment and I used the military jeep in the parking garage, and I was able to literally kill over 2,000 zombies before the jeep got destroyed. So if you want a quick and easy way of earning XP, as well as just having fun killing zombies, then I would go for this way. It's also quite satisfying running over that amount of zombies at once. The last thing I really liked about this game was the music. I especially like the music during the psychopath boss battles. My favorite kind of music is nu metal, and this game has a lot of that, and I just think that it suits the game so well. It just feels like the game is more badass with this kind of music, and it almost makes the psychopaths seem more psychotic with this kind of music, and I just love that. Now I will talk about the negatives. Now you may have noticed in my gameplay that I'm not dying or losing any health. Well, there is a reason for this. I managed to give myself unlimited health, and this was done by cheating. Let me explain. This game is unbelievably hard. Call me a non-gamer all you want, but this is the point in a review, is to point out flaws, and this is a major flaw. I did in fact manage to play quite a few hours without cheating, but about 2 to 3 hours into the game, the amount of zombies doubles, almost triples, and it becomes very tedious to fight them. For instance, when you're running around the zombies, some of them may grab you, and you have to do this quick time event. And this is fine and all, but it ruins the flow of the game so much, and it's needlessly hard. I've noticed it's quite hard on keyboard and mouse, and in my opinion they should have had a key bind for this, but unfortunately they did not. It's just a tedious minigame that becomes very annoying after a while, because when you're just killing zombies, trying to enjoy the game, and suddenly out of nowhere, you're stuck in this minigame, it can really destroy your enjoyment. Even worse is the fact that if you accidentally hit the wrong button, you die, and you have to load the last save. So if you didn't even save in the last like 20 to 30 minutes, this could really piss you off. Another thing that I really dislike about this game, and probably the most disliked part of this game for me, is the time limits. I understand that it does add realism to this game, that you have a time limit of like 73 hours, but this is a zombie game. and I feel like the open world feeling, and when you have a time limit, that takes that feeling away. This is just a personal opinion of mine that I dislike, but let me give you a scenario that could affect anyone playing the game. So at the end of the game, there's about 8 in-game hours to do what you want. That sounds fun, right? Well, actually, it's not fun. It's more annoying than anything else, because this happens more than once in this game, where you're on a certain time limit, but you want to do a certain thing, but you had no time to do that thing you wanted to do. What this means is you're wasting time waiting for the next mission to start, and for me that takes enjoyment out of the game. To be fair, once you've fully completed the game, there is a mode where you have an unlimited amount of time. For me personally, I would have rather have unlimited mode be the main mode, and have the 72-hour mode be the secondary mode. Yet another issue I have with this game is the AI. The AI is really bad. So there's this mechanic where you have to save survivors, and I feel like this is a good aspect of the game, because it does fill up time while you're waiting for the next step in the game. So you will get a call and you'll be told where the survivor is. You go to that survivor, kill all the zombies around them, and then take them back to the safe house. This sounds easy in theory, but when you put it into action, this is the most pain in the ass thing in the game. The reason this is a pain in the ass is because a lot of the followers are slow, and the most irritating part about them is the fact that they will just randomly start fighting zombies for no reason. One instance that I remember in particular is when Isabella is following you when you're trying to get to Carlito's hideout. Admittedly, it didn't take as long as I thought it would to complete this mission, but my issue with this as an example was the fact that she would go across the entire part of the map just to shoot one zombie. So I thought, okay, I'll just clear out the zombies around her and she'll follow me. But no, that didn't always work, because sometimes she would go running and find a zombie far away and just start shooting at them randomly. I get that this game was made in 2006, but oh my god, the AI is so bad. There is some amount of replayability to this game. For instance, there are multiple endings to this game that you can have. This all depends on how many people you save, or how many people die, and other certain actions that you make throughout the game. It doesn't really specify within the game itself what you have to do in order to unlock these endings, but there are guides online. There is also unlimited mode where you have an unlimited amount of time just to explore the map and kill however many zombies you want. The storyline is quite simple in this game, to be honest. So our main character is Frank West, and he heard about these riots happening in a place called Willamette. Frank takes pictures and then he asks to land at Willamette Mall to further investigate the situation, and he tells his pilot to return in 3 days. Frank goes down to the entrance of the mall and sees a bunch of people barricading the front entrance, and he notices that they are all zombies. What this means is that there are no riots, but a zombie outbreak. We then meet some agents who are trying to figure out what's going on, and Frank really wants information out of these two. Unfortunately for Frank, they won't say anything, but Frank slowly puts the pieces together. We learn about a guy named Carlito, and it's rumored that he's responsible for the zombie outbreak. We then capture a doctor who is in the mall, and his name is Dr. Barnaby. After this, the two agents put themselves as DHS agents, and they wanted to interrogate Dr. Barnaby to ask him what's going on and how to fix this situation. We then meet someone called Isabella, who is revealed to be Carlito's sister. She then tells everyone exactly what happened and how this outbreak came to be. According to Isabella, the US government was trying to make more cattle because of the overwhelming amounts of meat that Americans eat. They don't exactly give details on what happened, but what they said was that while trying to figure out how to make more meat, they accidentally created a virus that basically turns people into zombies. They were using wasps to transport these viruses, and they broke out, turning everyone into zombies. Isabella then helps Frank find Carlito's hideout, where they find a laptop, but unfortunately, they cannot figure out the password. We then learn the whereabouts of Carlito himself, and he's being basically tortured, and we go and save him. Unfortunately, Carlito dies, and he requests to give his locket to Isabella. We then return to Isabella and give her the locket, and that's where she figures out what the password is, and she's able to get into the laptop. Jesse, the DHS agent, is finally able to contact their headquarters. Unfortunately, they will not be able to help, and they are sending in the military to destroy all evidence of what happened. The military then arrives, and Jesse turns into a zombie, and we unfortunately have to kill her. After the military backs off of the mall, Frank goes up to the top of the mall to wait for his ride out of there. Unfortunately for Frank, the pilot gets killed by a zombie, and the helicopter crashes. Fortunately, the helicopter does crash near the bell tower in the middle of the mall, opening up a hole in order for them to escape. Frank then learns from Isabella that he is infected with the zombie virus. We then have to make up a serum in order to delay the effects of the virus. This means that Frank has an undetermined amount of time before he becomes a zombie. Isabella then manages to create a perfume that will stop the zombies from attacking them. They then go to the hole where the bell tower is, and we manage to escape the mall. Before they escape, they are confronted by the head of the military operation, and Frank has to defeat him. After defeating the head of the military operation, Frank and Isabella find themselves surrounded by hundreds of zombies, and it seems like they have nowhere to go. We then get some writing after the credits, saying that Frank and Isabella did escape, and that the story of what happened did get out, and the government had to somewhat take responsibility for what happened. I think the story was alright for the most part. I feel like the gameplay does interrupt the story quite a bit, so you can kind of easily lose track of what's going on. I do find the story interesting, and it does grab you because you wonder what happened, and why the zombie outbreak happened in the first place. I kind of wish that they went more into how this happened, instead of just giving us a plain old Americans who wanted more meat, so they did this, this, and this, now they're zombies. I don't know if they explain it more in the future games, but the way they explained it in this game just didn't feel like they went into specifics. Otherwise, the story was alright. To be quite honest, this game is average for me. I think the reason why I find this game good is because of pure nostalgia. Because I used to play this game all the time when I was younger, but now when I play the game, there are an insane amount of flaws in this game. Yes, the music is good and the story is alright, but the gameplay can get very frustrating, and it can ruin your experience with this game. I had problems with the time limits, the AI, and many other things, but for me this game is a guilty pleasure. Otherwise, this game is just average. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you in the next video.